What's up, fellas? Just got back from a 1,700-mile motorcycle camping trip. Gonna do a real quick video here to show you the gear I took, what worked and what didn't. Okay, so I pack with the philosophy of being a comfortable minimalist. That means trying to get a minimum amount of gear on the bike so it's still fun to ride and lightweight, but taking enough gear to be relatively comfortable at camp. A good rule of thumb is to pack what you need for 2 days because you can always restock stuff on the road. For a waterproof bag, I use this roll top bag from Walmart. It's made by Outdoor Products. I've used these for years and proved to be pretty tough for me, as good as other expensive bags. No fancy bells or whistles, but they keep your stuff dry. For the price, I'm impressed. Took the Static Climate V uninsulated sleeping bag. It's heavier than the foam pads, but packed smaller and it's very comfortable. I use a compressible down zero bag made by Hike and Bike. I bought it for a fly-in late season hunting trip, so it's way too warm for my bike trip. It's a 0-degree bag. It's a good bag though, packed small, it's light, it's pretty comfortable to sleep in, pretty roomy. I also took an Army surplus Gore-Tex bivvy to sleep in when I didn't want to be in a tent. They work fine, but they're bulky. I like to take a 4x6 tarp to cover my gear, or unpack my gear from the tent onto it in the morning so the dew doesn't get everything wet. I use the Lynx one-person tent made by Alps. This is my third trip taking a tent instead of a tarp, and I'm going to go back to using a nylon tarp. We had some good storms on the trip, and you just can't see them from the inside of a tent like you can see if you're, sitting in a well-pitched tarp. I take an extra roll top waterproof bag to isolate wet gear from my other gear inside my dry bags, so you can also fill it with ice if you have ice at the last gas station for the day and have cold drinks at camp. Take a SAM splint and a medical kit. I carry these on my bike all the time. You can see the details in my Enduro Tail Bag Essentials video. I'll put a link down in the description, but I also brought along this collapsible bucket for putting out fires and storing food up in the trees where it's safe from grizzlies. Clothing, I use the military surplus nylon socks that have antimicrobial silver in them so they don't stink so bad. Just one set of lightweight pants in case my riding pants get totally soaked. Another set of socks and a t-shirt. That's it for clothes. I bought a packable down jacket to wear under my riding coat when it's really cold. They don't you do any good if it gets wet, and you don't want to keep it around a campfire because the little sparks put holes in it and it spits feathers everywhere. I also took a military surplus quarter zip fleece and beanie. Next year I'm just going to take the fleece. It makes a nice pillow, and the down packable jacket isn't comfortable to use as a pillow, so I'll ditch it and just take the fleece. I took these Morel shoes. They're real small. They pack as small as flip-flops, and they're very comfortable at camp every day. Redneck Essential, the camo hat, along with the hat, tool bag. I'll put a link to my tool bag essentials video in the description, and you can see all the tools that I bring on every ride, big ones and little ones. Of course, maintenance on the road. If you need to, carry oil. I carry chain lube. I carry 2 Mountain House meals with me in case my bike breaks down or we hit road impassable and wet type of mud. That way I have something to eat if I have to wait a storm out for a couple days. For a cup, I just take a little tin cup from Walmart, stick it in a beer cozy, and then it's insulated, it's small. And if you don't even want to take a cup, you can just use a plastic bottle with a cozy and get even smaller. One thing you want to be sure to bring is a Sharpie. They're more handy than you'd think. And food-wise, I bring a lot of tortilla shells. You can fill them with just about anything, like some Fritos or bean dip or a can of chili or whatever you happen to get at the gas station. And they're good for sharing with folks. They don't spoil, they pack down easy, they don't get damaged by being crushed, and they're cheap. So here's the Jetboil. Cover the bottom of it. These fins can get damaged. It has a rag in the top to keep everything from bouncing around and damaging your stove. You see, it doesn't take a very big fuel container. You can pack larger ones, but they're really fuel efficient, which is one of the nice reasons to take a Jetboil. They don't do, you can't simmer or cook fancy meals on them, but I don't do that anyway. I use it every morning for heating coffee. I use instant coffee, Starbucks Via, and it works great. Nice little package. Water, I don't use fancy water bottles. Sometimes I use a bladder. I use regular water bottles and a SteriPen and just refill them, and it's cheap and easy. SteriPen, a lot of people crap on the SteriPen, but I think this is 5 years now I've been using it and never got sick. It runs on AA's. Everything I have runs on AA's, so I don't have to carry a bunch of different kinds of batteries. Hygiene kit, shortened toothbrush, baby wipes, some Band-Aids, stomach stuff, a short metal spoon. These are really nice. These light my fire sporks, but the plastic ones break. This is also an option. Long spork. They're kind of nice if you're eating a lot of those meals. I don't eat too many of those dehydrated meals, but they're nice to reach down on the bottom of those bags. This headlamp runs on AA's. It's a Phoenix HL23, and one of the important things is you have to hold the button down to turn it on. That way it doesn't get turned on your bag accidentally and waste a bunch of batteries. Headlamps are more convenient than flashlights. So batteries, I'll take batteries. Don't take more than like 4 AA's or just a few batteries, because you can buy them at gas stations, so you don't need to bring a bunch. Just make sure however you package them that they're not getting contact on end to end and discharging in your bag. My chair broke on this trip, so I got tired of carrying that big thing around anyway, and I got this little pad that inflates. It's made by Climate. I bought this. None of my stuff is sponsored, but it has ridges in it, so it's stable when you sit on it, and it's really comfortable, and I think I'm going to take those instead of the collapsible Monarch chairs in the future. Really small microfiber towel. I keep that in a waterproof bag, so when it's wet I can put it in there and then dry it when I get to camp. My pants are KTM rally pants, and they have a waterproof liner, but my jacket doesn't, so I bring a waterproof jacket. This is the Coleman one from Walmart. They're like 30 bucks. They're really waterproof. They pack down fairly small, and mine's big enough to fit over my jacket so I can keep everything dry. I've never had anything truly waterproof. This jacket's water resistant just like any of the other riding gear that I've ever worn. I mean, nothing's waterproof really. This jacket, AXO, I think, makes this jacket, and it did fine. It's light on padding, so I like to wear armor underneath it, but I just wore the pads on this trip and added a little back protector. Standard motocross boots, rally pants from KTM, knee pads, motocross boots, riding shorts, gloves, and a neck gaiter, and that's everything that went with me on that trip.